It's incredible how much weight a single sentence can carry.
You're listening to the Right On Podcast, where we help you get the story in your head onto the page.
We're talking about hooks, those literary handshakes that either pull you in or make you want to run for the hills.
And we're breaking down 10 different types.
It's not just about grabbing attention, though, is it?
Not at all. It's giving readers a taste, setting the stage. Like, hey, you like this kind of story? Buckle up, Buttercup.
Exactly. It's a promise, and there are so many ways to make that promise.
Let's talk about one way right now. Action. Why does this hook work so well?
Well, think about those heart-pounding moments in movies.
Oh, I love a good car chase scene.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Car chases, explosions, someone hanging off a building.
Gets the adrenaline going.
It's about immediacy, throwing you right into the middle of the action. And action hooks, they bring that same energy to the page.
So we're talking fast-paced, high stakes.
Absolutely.
But it's not always about literal explosions, right? Our source mentioned The Hunger Games as an example of an action hook.
Oh, The Hunger Games. Great example.
And I mean, Katniss wakes up in bed. It's not exactly a James Bond opening.
True, it's not a car exploding. But think about how Suzanne Collins uses that. That simple action. Katniss wakes up, her sister's side of the bed is cold, and there's that feeling, right?
Like something's wrong.
Exactly. A sense of unease, of something being off. And instantly, there's that question in the reader's mind, where is her sister? Why isn't she there? That's the power of the action hook. You don't have to blow things up.
It's all about that underlying tension.
Exactly. The sense that something's about to go down.
Makes you want to read on to see what happens.
And that's why it's so effective in genres like thrillers, mysteries, action-adventure.
Anything where you want to get the reader's pulse racing from page one.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got those action-packed beginnings covered. What about when you want to grab the reader with something a little quieter?
Oh, you're talking about those stories that draw you in with intrigue, with character.
Right. Our source talks about starting right in the thick of a conversation.
Dialogue hooks, right.
Yes. What makes those so captivating?
It's like that feeling of eavesdropping, isn't it?
Oh, 100%.
You're pulled into this conversation. You're not supposed to be hearing it. It's irresistible.
Totally.
Like, remember Holden Caulfield's voice in Catcher in the Rye?
Oh, classic.
That first line. If you really want to hear about it, the first thing you'll probably want to know is where I was born and what my lousy childhood was like.
You know exactly who he is from that one sentence.
Don't you? That voice.
So cynical.
J.D. Salinger nails it. And in just a single sentence,
So good.
you instantly get it. Holden, cynical, a little rebellious,
Just from the way he talks.
and you're already hooked. You want to know more about this lousy childhood he's about to tell you about?
Absolutely. It's like he's talking directly to you, sharing secrets.
That's exactly what makes a good dialogue hook so effective. That intimacy, that immediacy.
Right.
And you're getting a sense of the character straight away.
It's like those moments in real life, right? When you overhear a snippet of conversation.
Yes.
And your mind just explodes with questions like, who are these people? What's their story?
And now you're dying to know more. And that's exactly what a dialogue hook does, but on the page.
So good.
And it's a technique that works especially well in genres that really rely on character development and voice. Literary fiction, coming-of-age stories, some romances.
So we've talked about hooks that get your heart racing.
Yes.
We've talked about hooks that draw you in with a whisper.
Right.
But what about when you want to create an atmosphere, a mood that's just palpable from that first line?
You're talking about setting the stage with mood.
Exactly. And that's where mood hooks come in, right?
Absolutely. Think about it like setting the stage with lighting and music, right?
Yes.
A mood hook instantly establishes the emotional landscape of your story
It sets the tone.
from the very beginning.
Our source mentioned the first line of Rebecca. Last night I dreamt I went to Manderley again.
Oh, Rebecca.
Talk about setting a mood.
Daphne du Maurier, she was a master of that. Just a handful of words, and she evokes this sense of longing, of mystery.
And even a touch of foreboding.
Exactly. You instantly feel like you're stepping into a world that's beautiful, but also a little bit unsettling.
It's incredible how much weight a single sentence can carry. What types of stories benefit most from a mood hook, do you think?
Oh, they're especially effective in genres where atmosphere is key. Gothic literature, mysteries, thrillers, even historical fiction. Anything where you want to create that immersive experience.
Those books that just transport you to another time and place with their descriptions.
Exactly. And that is the power of a well-crafted mood hook.
You walk into a room and you just know something's off.
Right. You get that feeling.
It's like that, but with a book.
And that brings us to another fantastic hook, the mysterious hook.
Ooh, intriguing. Tell me more.
It's all about piquing the reader's curiosity. You present them with something unusual.
Something that needs explaining.
Yes. And it doesn't give you the answers right away.
Ooh, I like that.
Like, our source mentioned a single shoe lying in the middle of the road after a blizzard.
Okay, that's weird. Whose shoe? What happened?
Exactly. It's such a simple image, but it raises so many questions.
It's like a puzzle piece, but you can't see the picture yet.
And that's what makes it intriguing. You have to keep reading to find out.
This feels like a goldmine for mystery writers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mysteries thrive on unanswered questions. That slow burn of revelation.
But it's not just for mysteries, though, right?
Not at all. This hook works great in thrillers, suspense novels, even speculative fiction.
Anything where you want to keep the reader guessing.
Exactly. Anything where you want to create that I need to know more feeling.
And speaking of needing to know more, let's talk about those characters that just pull you into a story.
Character hooks, right?
Yes, it's less about the plot, more about who we're following on this journey.
Absolutely. A strong character hook, it introduces a protagonist so compelling, so unique.
You're instantly invested.
Instantly.
Yeah.
You have to know what happens to them.
I'm thinking about that example from our source. He always wore 3 watches on his left wrist, claiming that time moved differently depending on where you stood.
Oh, I love that one.
How can you not want to know more about this guy?
Right. One tiny detail tells you so much. He's eccentric. He sees the world differently.
There's something more to him.
Exactly.
Mm.
It's like you've met a real person. Quirks and all.
And you want to hear their story.
And that's the magic of a good character hook. It creates that connection.
This type of hook would be perfect for those character-driven stories, right?
Oh, absolutely. Literary fiction, coming-of-age tales, even some romances.
Anywhere the protagonist's personality is front and center.
Yes, where their voice shines through.
It's like that feeling you get when you meet someone for the first time and
You just click.
you can tell so much about a person just from how they carry themselves, how they talk, and
Right.
authors can capture that feeling on the page. It's amazing.
It is. It's powerful stuff.
Okay. For all those writers who love a good plot twist, our source material talks about flash-forward hooks.
Oh, yeah. You're giving readers a peek into the future of the story.
A little sneak preview.
A tantalizing glimpse of what's to come. And usually, it's something big, dramatic, significant.
100 Years of Solitude. That starts with a flash-forward, right?
Yes. Gabriel Garcia Marquez, he opens with. Many years later, as he faced the firing squad, Colonel Aureliano Buendia was to remember that distant afternoon when his father took him to discover ice.
Talk about intense.
Right. You're thrown into this high-stakes situation, a firing squad, and then, boom, we're pulled back to a simple memory.
It's jarring. How are those 2 moments even connected?
And that's the beauty of a good flash-forward hook.
Uh,
It creates that instant investment.
You need to know how the character ended up facing a firing squad.
Exactly. You're hooked by the promise of this pivotal event, and you're desperate to understand the journey that led to it.
I've always thought of it like watching a movie trailer, but all the best parts are out of order.
Wow, perfect analogy.
You're left thinking, how did we get here?
Exactly. And it's perfect for stories with a strong sense of fate, destiny.
Where the present is connected to the past.
You've got it.
Thrillers, mysteries, maybe historical fiction.
All great genres for a flash-forward hook.
Anything with a strong plot and a real sense of anticipation.
Exactly. Now, from the future, let's journey back to the present. And to a hook that'll engage your mind on a whole new level. The philosophical hook.
Those books that really stay with you.
Right. The ones that make you think.
And they often start with a hook that makes you really ponder, too.
Exactly. Philosophical hooks, they're all about grappling with big ideas, universal truths.
Right from the start.
It's like, get ready for a story that digs a little deeper.
Okay, I need an example. What screams philosophical hook to you?
Oh, it has to be the classic, Call Me Ishmael,
Moby Dick.
the first line.
It seems so simple, right? Almost like an afterthought.
But there's so much there.
Right. Beneath those 3 words, you've got questions about identity, purpose.
The nature of storytelling itself.
Melville's not messing around. He's challenging us from the get-go.
Like he's saying, this isn't just some sea yarn. This is about what it means to be human.
And that's what makes it so good. It instantly takes the story to another level, a thematic level.
It makes me think about those books I go back to again and again.
Oh, yeah.
They always have those big questions at the heart of them. Exactly. And that's where philosophical hooks really shine.
Right.
Literary fiction, philosophical novels, even speculative fiction that's tackling complex themes.
It's like an invitation, isn't it?
It is.
Like, come ponder these big ideas along with me.
And see where it takes you.
Okay. I have a feeling this next one might be your favorite.
Oh.
Our source calls it the unconventional hook.
Yes. Now we're talking. This is for those writers who'd like to shake things up a little bit.
Break the mold.
Exactly. They're not afraid to experiment to surprise the reader.
So we're talking like experimental narratives, playing with point of view.
Maybe even breaking that fourth wall.
Ooh, dangerous. I love it.
Right. Talking directly to the reader. Bold move.
But when it works, it works.
When it works, it's brilliant.
Do you have any favorite examples of unconventional hooks?
Oh, so many. But one that always comes to mind is Italo Calvino's If on a Winter's Night a Traveler.
Oh, I haven't read that one. What's so special about it?
Well, it starts with, you are about to begin reading Italo Calvino's new novel, If on a Winter's Night a Traveler.
He's talking directly to me. I love that.
Right.
So meta.
It's fantastic. And somehow, it just works. You're instantly drawn in. It's playful. It's unexpected. It's
Now
almost
you're in on a secret.
Yes. A literary inside joke.
It feels very modern, self-aware, like the novel knows it's a novel.
Exactly. And it's having a little fun with it.
And that's the beauty of the unconventional hook, right?
It is.
It's all about creating that unique reading experience.
It's about taking risks.
Pushing those boundaries, seeing what happens.
You said it. Not every experiment will be a masterpiece.
But the ones that are, they really stick with you.
Exactly.
Okay, last but not least, we've got to talk about the power of place.
The setting hook.
Yes.
Pardon me for the interruption, but did you know that reading is one of the best ways to become a better writer? Would you like to take a peek at our favorite books on writing craft? You can find a link to our recommended reading list in the show notes.
Immersing your reader in the world of your story right from the first line.
Think about those opening lines that just transport you. A few carefully chosen details, and you're there.
Like you've stepped into another world.
Exactly. Like Tolkien's The Hobbit. In a hole in the ground, there lived a hobbit.
Oh, I love that one. Simple, yet so effective.
Right. Instantly, you're picturing it.
The Shire.
Yes. Cozy subterranean.
You can practically smell the pipeweed.
It's those details. They're not just descriptive. They're evocative.
They set the tone for the whole story.
Give you a feel for the atmosphere, for the world.
This type of hook would be perfect for fantasy, sci-fi, historical novels, right?
Oh, absolutely. Anywhere the setting is almost like a character itself.
So important.
It is. A well-crafted setting hook, it can transport your reader, make them feel like they're right there in the thick of it all.
Experiencing everything alongside your characters. Wow. We've covered so much ground today, 10 different types of hooks, each one with its own unique way of pulling the reader in.
And I hope we've given our listeners plenty to think about.
Because when you're starting a new story, it can feel a little overwhelming.
It can.
You've got this blank page, all these possibilities. How do you choose the right hook?
That's the question, isn't it? And honestly, there's no magic formula, no right or wrong answer. The best hook, it's the one that feels right for your story, for your characters.
So it's not about following a rule book. It's about finding that perfect fit.
Exactly. Think about the promise you're making to your reader. What kind of experience do you want to create? What tone do you want to set from that very first line? And the right hook. It'll emerge organically from those questions.
We've learned so much, not just about writing, but about what makes us want to keep reading.
The psychology of storytelling.
Yeah.
It's incredible how powerful those first few lines can be.
Want the free guide mentioned in this podcast? The link is in the show notes. That's it for this episode of the Write On Podcast. Hit subscribe for more invaluable writing advice to help you bring your novel to life.